I refused to let my mother-in-law name my baby after her actual firstborn son who died at birth 40 years ago, the first time my husband James mentioned his mother's unique grief. We'd been dating for 6 months. His words were careful, rehearsed. My mom had a stillborn son before me. They named him David. Still celebrates his birthday. I nodded sympathetically. Losing a child is an unimaginable pain that never truly heals. What I didn't understand then was how deeply this invisible brother would eventually impact our lives. When James and I announced our pregnancy last fall, his mother Caroline's first words weren't congratulations. Instead, she clasped my hands and whispered, "If it's a boy, we'll name him David, after his uncle." I smiled uncomfortably, assuming this was an emotional suggestion we could gently decline later. James squeezed my shoulder but said nothing. As the weeks passed, Caroline's suggestion morphed into certainty. She began referring to my unborn child exclusively as Little David. She gifted us baby clothes with the initial D monogrammed on them. At my 20-week appointment, when we discovered we were indeed having a boy, she sent a group text to the entire family. "David is coming back to us that night." I told James we needed to address this. "I understand your mother's pain, but I am not comfortable naming our son after a baby who died. I want our child to have his own identity, not be a replacement." James ran his hand through his hair, a nervous habit. It would mean everything to her. She's waited 40 years for this. For what? For David to be reborn. That's not healthy, James. And it's not fair to our son. The argument that followed was our first real fight. James accused me of being insensitive to his mother's decades of grief. I accused him of placing his mother's wishes above our child's well-being. We tentatively settled on giving the baby the middle name David as a compromise, though the tension lingered. 2 weeks later, Caroline arrived unannounced at our home with a box of David's things, turny-yellowed baby clothes, a tarnished silver rattle, and a framed birth certificate for a baby who lived less than an hour. Most disturbing was a recent photo-edited image, showing what David might look like as an adult, created using photos of James. "These belong to him now," she said, patting my stomach. "He'll need them when he comes home." That night, after Caroline left, I broke down. "This isn't grief anymore, James. This is something else. She's not seeing our baby as a separate person." The next day, we visited his mother together. James spoke first, gentle but firm. "Mom, we decided to name our son Noah, James. He'll have his own name, his own identity. We'll honor David's memory in our family, but our son needs to be his own person." Caroline's face hardened. "David is coming back. I've waited 40 years." "No, Mom, David isn't coming back. My son is not your son." She didn't speak to us for 2 months. James's father called, pleading with us to just give her this one thing. James's sister suggested we were being cruel to an old woman who had suffered enough, but we held firm. Noah James was born in April, healthy and perfect. We sent Caroline a birth announcement, unsure if she would even acknowledge him. 3 weeks later, she appeared at our door empty-handed and red-eyed. "Can I meet my grandson?" she asked quietly. When she held Noah, something shifted. "He has your eyes," she told James, "not David's eyes." "Just James's. It's been 6 months now." Caroline still occasionally slips and calls him David, but she catches herself. She started therapy, finally addressing a grief that had calcified over decades. "Last week she brought Noah a stuffed elephant. I saw this and thought of him," she said. "Noah loves elephants, doesn't he?" It was the first gift she'd given that wasn't meant for a ghost.